Let's go with the runners in scoring position.
Okay.
That's been.
We'll get to the bullpen next.
Yeah, we'll hold off on the bullpen because that is absolutely on my list.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys left on base. I think there was in the first 5 innings yesterday, I want to say at least 6. Saturday, I was a little in and out of the game, so I didn't fully see how many were left on base that game, but I would bet you there was at least 6 or 7. And it just seems to be a common theme now where you're not, like yesterday, boom, boom, beautiful piece of hitting, right center field, another double, 2 RBIs, busted open, and then they just can't seem to really step on people's throats right now for whatever reason. One of those reasons might be that 2 of your guys, and when Rojas is playing, almost 3 of your guys are automatic outs right now.
That is my other concern. That's on my list.
33% of your lineup is borderline
guaranteed out.
And when you have men on base, there's no confidence in the world right now that Bryson Stott, Brandon Marsh, and Johan Rojas are going to get guys home.
The sad thing is...
And Bryson Stott was in the 5 hole yesterday? What is going on?
So what makes all this even more sad is you have Alec Boehm, who right now is on pace for 59 doubles this season. No player has had
He's been the most
60
consistent,
doubles since 1936. He has been quietly very consistent. With especially doubles, making plays, finding the gaps and pockets to hit into. That is something that actually the Diamondbacks did really well. They had like 5 singles at one point yesterday where they were just able, and I know Bryce was saying like our positioning was just off in the infield. They were doing a good job squeezing balls past Bryce, past Alec. It wasn't pretty. It was just enough to get to move runners.
The McCarthy one down the line ended up being 3 runs, and Bryce
Exactly.
I don't want to say should have had it, but it was like right there.
But they were able to find just enough space to squeeze it past the infield, enough to keep the inning going, to move runners, to score runs. The Phillies haven't been able to do that. It's a lot of pop-ups. It's a lot of balls that are like, to me, they're just swinging at the plate with no discipline and no confidence even at times. And Alec Boehm has been that. But when you look at that lack of confidence, I do feel like part of it is offensively, outside of him, Kyle has been doing, well.
Kyle and Boehm are like the only 2 that are kind of safe.
But there
in the
are
Blaine
so
game,
many guys right now that are guaranteed out. And Garrett Stubbs.
Do you want the numbers in
one
August?
Of them. Oh gosh.
I don't even want to talk about Garrett Stubbs.
So he's on my list because JT doesn't seem like there's been a lot more off days for JT.
JT's not looked right.
He's not looked right. So my concern is Stubbs/JT because JT hasn't looked right from his knee surgery since returning.
Wait to hear these numbers.
More Garrett Stubbs. And before you get into those numbers,
I will pull up JT's August
not a good
too.
thing. And it's concerning because we need JT to be able to play in a 4-game series, 3 of those games, if not all 4. We need him in the playoffs to be able to play every single game. And I'm hoping they're playing Garrett more to rest him, but I'm not feeling good about this at all. So what's the numbers?
I do have confidence that JT is going to come out of it.
You think he's going to be fine come playoffs? You're not nervous about him being an everyday...
I'm not really concerned about JT.
Okay.
But he has been bad since returning. Like, I cannot deny that.
Yeah.
But just overall, I feel like I have confidence he's going to break it down.
I want Marsh back. I know Steven's saying in the chat, I want Marsh back right now.
We're not even going to get into Rojas and Stubbs because those guys are what they are offensively. In the month of August, Brandon Marsh, Bryson Stott, JT Realmuto. We'll start with JT. He's batting 161 for the month of March with an on base of 235, a slugging of 323, and an OPS of 558. That is bad. Brandon Marsh in August is batting 129. He is 4 for 31 with 14 strikeouts. 3 RBIs and a 444 OPS.
And this is just for
August, which is now halfway over.
It is August 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bryson Stott in the month of August is hitting .067, 2 for his last 30 with only 3 Ks, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, and his OPS is 233. 233. So I think the runner on base abandonment issue can very much be pinpointed back to the shortcomings of JT, Marsh, and Stott. Because when you're striking out 14 of your last 31 at-bats, you're not getting the sac flies. You're not advancing runners on the base. You're not doing the little things to contribute to small ball that can help pull a team out of something like this. So, those three got to get going or they're toast. Now, I have faith in JT. Do I have faith in Stott and Marsh? If you had asked me 2-3 months ago, do I have faith that Bryson Stott's pulling out of this? I would say yes. I'm at the point now with him where I'm starting to think like I need a full-time platoon at second base. I don't know if he has the capability to pull out of it this year. I think career, he'll be fine. This year, something's up. Brandon Marsh, do I have faith that he's going to pull out of this? No, Renee, I do not. So, it's like 1.5 out of the 3 guys you need. I have confidence in. I don't know how you feel about those 3.
Honestly, one of the other things that's concerning is Johan, when you look at this weekend, was actually one of your better offensive guys.
He's actually been pretty good lately.
The 3-2 game Friday, he makes a big play, ties the game up late. He actually has been hitting the ball a lot better. Of course, defensively, we know what you're going to get from him at center field, but offensively, he has been over the last couple of weeks.
There you go. To back it up, in the month of August, he's batting .294, on base .368, slugging .353, but his OPS is .721. And if he can give you those lines consistently in your 9-hole and play the caliber of defense that he's back to playing, you absolutely take that. So to your point, he's been good lately.
And he's one of the guys that that's all you expect from him.
Yeah, that's like he's kind of a cap almost. Yeah.
It's the others that you need more from that are not giving you anything. And it's just I wish I could exchange some of these guys like a Marchand. We need to bring him in. I would love to see Rafael Marchand back instead of Garrett Stubbs.
What's funny is he hasn't hit since going back.
Correct. He might be back in the big leagues.
Bright lights, big performer guy.
Back in the big leagues. And Mundo Sosa has been better than Bryson Stott.
Are you ready to platoon?
I'm ready to platoon. But
Tyler,
we should have to Band-Aid all these spots.
Yeah, probably. Like we talked about this on Friday, and it was one of those things. Like if heading into the playoffs, to me, I still think they're only going to platoon one position.
You're probably right, but it's not out of the question now.
But Brandon
Marsh is bad.
To go back to the Brandon Marsh conversation for a second, we talked about this in the beginning of the year, where Brandon Marsh at one point in his career had the second highest BABIP amongst players ever. The only one above him was Ty Cobb. Now,
wow, that doesn't sound right.
So the point being is Brandon Marsh to an extent. Now, BABIP is a fair stat to use to kind of understand is defense lacking? Is a hitter getting lucky? Because you can match it up with like hard hit percentages, right? So Brandon Marsh had the second highest BABIP ever amongst qualified hitters with 1,000 career plate appearances. And he hit .277 last year. The issue is he's still, in a better year, struck out 30.5% of his plate appearances. So when the quote-unquote luck starts to run out a little bit with Brandon Marsh, as it clearly has this year, and the strikeout rates not only are the same, they're actually worse. They're 32.8% this year.
I think it's 39%. Tom McCarthy said yesterday for the month.
It's almost 40% for the months. It's almost 33% for his season. When the strikeout rates raise and you're kind of in the mix of like maybe you're getting into being a little bit of a lucky hitter, the average is going to plummet. He's in the 3rd percentile of strikeout rates this season.
Oof.
Yikes.
To put it bluntly, guys, like especially recently, he's been terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
Oh.
Do you have faith he's going to pull out of it?
No.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that. Not this year.
Do you have faith in Stott this year?
Not this year either. No. But I think if you're going to ask me long-term projection, I would take Stott.
Do you have faith in JT this year?
No. Yes, but like not to like. If you're looking for a JT of like 2020, 2021, you're not getting that.
I guess, close to the beginning of this year.
I do. I think as he continues to get reps, we talked about on Friday like foot placement and like how his step is probably paramount. So I think of the 3, JT's the one I would.
All right, so we're not feeling great about these 3.
No, I think with JT it's just a matter of he's got to stay healthy. You need him. You cannot have him. We can't continue to have games where he's not playing, and we have to see Garrett Stubbs. And to your points, I know, ironically, Tim Kelly, Phillies Nation, just dropped a piece talking similarly to what we're having a discussion around now about 5 guys that have been struggling. 2 of those guys, Bryson Stott, as he was sharing the numbers since the All-Star break, definitely directly in line with what you were saying of his
platoon time.
Since the All-Star break, a .222 with a .568 OPS. And then for Brandon Marsh, since the All-Star break happened, He's had a really bad, in his 74 plate appearances, struck out 27 times with his .149 average and a .485 OPS.